Welcome back to the Reality Wind Down podcast, where we break down all the latest Bravo TV drama, biggest pop culture moments of the week, one glass of wine at a time. I'm Chase.
I'm Cassidy.
And we are here to fuck shit up.
Oh, that was really unexpected.
It was, but also the reason it's so unexpected is because I feel like we have some exciting hot takes, and we're just going to go right off the bat, right into hot takes.
It's been a really chaotic day.
I'm excited, so I think that energy just came up.
There's been a lot going on in especially the Beverly Hills universe this week.
Yes.
Okay, so first off, Erica, Jane, Girardi, whatever we want to call her, she is in some hot water.
Yeah, it's not just a divorce battle anymore. It's some real legal...
It is embezzling.
Yes.
It is, I mean, forget Roxy
Alleged.
Hart. Forget Roxy Hart in the Cell Block Tango. We could be seeing Miss Erica Jane in the Cell Block Tango.
Real life.
And do you think that Tom would come visit her, unlike he visited her
I think they'll be
on
in
her
cells,
performance in Chicago?
They'll be in cells together. Oh! Well, at least this time he'll have an excuse.
Because he's going to be in another prison?
Exactly. He didn't have an excuse not to come see her on Broadway, but he'll have an excuse this time. Because it's both of them being sued.
It's crazy. So basically, the guy who's suing them is saying that their divorce is basically a sham. And the divorce is being used to fraudulently protect Tom and Erica's money from those that seek to collect on debts owed by them. And it's crazy because it's like from plane crash victims.
Yeah, in that article, it also alleges that this isn't the first time he's been accused of this.
But honestly, I feel like we both said this, like right when the divorce was announced, we were like, this is like kind of weird. I feel like something's going on behind this scene. I didn't think it was this dark.
No. I mean, my thought was, like, why is she getting out now? He's, like, very old. She's been with him this long. You might as well
wait for him to die.
See it out. Like, you know what? Like,
that's what I would do.
See it to the end. Exactly.
It can't be that far away, right?
But if there's not really that much money left, maybe there's no reason to stay.
That's the thing. And it's in the lawsuit, it says, like, he's been funding her lifestyle. And think about how much money she spends on glam alone.
$40,000. That's what they say. In the article, it says approximately $40,000 a month in glam.
She doesn't know how to read. I have the article right in front of me, and like you're quoting it directly. I didn't know you became like Rain Man all of a sudden. Where you just like throw quotes at me.
This was just such hilarious information to me because Erica is notoriously known for spilling nothing of her personal life on a season, and she has the most messed up stuff going on.
Do you feel like she'll talk about it this season?
No.
How though?
There is a way that these Beverly Hills girls are able to leave their personal lives out of it. Okay. I don't know how, but they do.
But I feel like
because they always attack someone. That's their tactic. Is they pick on one person,
they gang up on somebody
focus
else.
on them, put all the storyline on them, so theirs stay out of it.
I just feel like, especially going into the second part of it, our breaking news in Beverly Hills, Kyle, Dorit, and Kathy have all tested positive for coronavirus.
Yeah, during filming. Because we did hear a couple weeks ago that they shut down or paused filming because of a crew member getting coronavirus. But we found out today it's not just crew members, it's
3 of them.
3 main cast, so.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy. They are saying they're doing fine.
Yeah, I think it said none of them were having symptoms or anything.
Or bad symptoms, yeah. So
jeez.
It's just, I don't know, it's just like, I think you said it perfectly earlier, that this is the most drama Beverly Hills has had in like the past like 4 seasons. Like, it's happening outside of the show.
This is better than all of the Lucy Apple Juicy season. Like today and this week's, because if you throw in Amelia Gray and Scott Disick, like it has been a week for Beverly Hills.
It really has. Sadly, we'll not probably see any of it on the actual show.
I mean, I feel like they'll have to acknowledge them testing positive for COVID.
That's true.
Because they're still filming. But they have to. Erica, if she doesn't open up on this, and I get like maybe she'll be under like a gag order or can't talk a lot about it, like it needs to be acknowledged.
But it's kind of like when we're talking about with Elizabeth on OC, where it's like her whole storyline is her divorce, but she can't talk about it.
But she keeps talking about it.
Yeah, so I feel like that'll be Erica when we go back to Beverly Hills.
I think that like Garcelle won't put up with it not being talked about though. Like I feel like she's someone who'd be like, Erica, what's going on with you? Like, is everything okay with this? Which is why we like Garcelle, because so many of them would just team up before and go after one person. I don't see Garcelle standing for that.
Well, especially because they brought all of Denise's dirty laundry out last season.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's time for their dirty laundry to be aired.
I completely
Because
agree.
they always say, we're on a reality show. This is reality. This is our lives. I'm like, okay, then show it.
Then show it.
And there's
Don't
plenty
show
of
me
stuff
what
here.
You want us to see.
Yeah.
Like, show us the reality.
And I think Erica's, that's her persona, is it's curated for the audience. It's not authentic.
It's expensive to be me. Like, how many Fs do I get?
Clearly, it's very expensive to be her because they don't have any more money.
They're gonna go into debt over it.
Yeah, just to keep up a lifestyle that really no one cares about anymore.
No.
Sadly. No. And another crazy thing that happened today, amazingly crazy, is that Bronwyn came out as a lesbian.
I mean, I am surprised. I thought we knew she was bisexual.
Yeah.
I think we were really surprised by the full-on announcement that she's a lesbian.
I mean, welcome to the family, I would say.
I mean, I'm not in the family, but...
You're an ally.
I'm an ally. I will happily welcome her.
Yeah. I just want to say congratulations to her. I think that's an exciting moment. It's an interesting moment because I did read that she plans to stay married. Yeah,
and she has a girlfriend. She said, like, I'm going to bring my girlfriend around.
Yeah.
And, I mean... Once again, we hate to say it, but the vow renewal curse. And I think this is a very different context of it. Like,
but it still failed.
But it still was a Bravo vow renewal, and we've said it time and time again, and here we are. But I think it was a different situation.
I mean, this is a whole new take on a failed vow renewal.
I mean, she's the first lesbian housewife now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. That we've never... I can't believe in, 12, 13 years of reality Bravo housewives that we've never had a lesbian housewife.
Yeah. We've had some
We've
lesbian
had some
encounters.
She made out with Tamara like last season, remember? Like, so we've had girl and girl action.
I mean, we've also seen like things like in this episode that we're going to talk about a little bit later that may tee off that this wasn't so shocking.
Yeah.
Because she does discuss like after the vow renewal, after spending time during COVID quarantine, they really weren't meshing, her and her husband.
No.
So, and she just wasn't feeling the same about him that she used to. It
was like a roommate situation is what it was coming down to.
A roommate situation, exactly. And she kind of had also said, I've been with him since I was 18. Right. I'm now finding out who I am as a person. So it's interesting. Congratulations to Bronwyn.
Congratulations to Bronwyn, for sure.
New life, yeah. Yeah, so we wanted to jump right into hot takes because those were just too good to not
It was too big of a week on the hot take universe,
exactly. For sure. But we are going to get to Salt Lake City now. That is our first one for the day.
We're going to play a game.
Oh, shit. We are going to play a game. Oh, my God.
You need to try to redeem yourself.
I forget the game because, as y'all know, I shut down mentally when we start playing a game. So I try to just, like, skate right over it. But it didn't work. Competitive Cassidy is out.
Competitive Cass is full on out. So we're going to be playing a word association housewife game. So you'll say one word, and you're going to guess what housewife that word is associated with. Okay. And you will get one hint if you can't get it. Like, you'll get one more word for one housewife. Did you hear me?
So we start with one.
You will get
one hint
one
out of the
time
whole game?
You get one extra, yes.
One extra hint during the entire game?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I won't use it on the first.
And you can't say a name. So if the person was Dorit, you couldn't say PK, because obviously it's going to be her with her husband.
So like you can't do like name association. Like they're
the
married to someone.
Name association.
Okay. See, guys, my brain already went to a different place because I'm stressed.
He's shelling up. He's getting nervous.
I'm nervous.
I'm getting too cocky. I'm becoming now cocky Cassidy, and I'm going to get beat now because I'm doing this.
I hope it pays off for me.
All right, well, I think I'm going to start this time. Maybe that'll be good luck for you.
Let's hope.
Okay, prostitution.
Danielle Staub.
Oh my God!
I didn't have to think about it.
You're totally showing me your answers right now, but I looked away. I looked away. I swear. There's proof. I looked away.
Okay. Mob.
Mob.
You know this one.
Oh my God! I'm so upset right now.
Oh, I can't believe this one.
Mob. I mean, I would guess Caroline Manzo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got nervous
there. Okay. 1-1.
Corona.
Ooh, Ashley Darby.
Yes! Oh my God.
For a second, I was like, oh no, like all of the housewives on OC right now because it's like the biggest storyline on OC.
Coronavirus.
So it's like every single housewife?
No,
nope,
girl.
Corona.
Just the Corona alcohol.
Ashley
and
Darby.
You got it right.
Okay. Clip.
Dorinda.
Yes, correct.
We stand.
I also like there's other clues. Clip. Berkshire's martinis.
Oh,
it's like
check,
all Dorinda.
Check.
Exactly.
Okay, tracks. I feel like this one's kind of hard.
Tracks. Would it be Candy Burris? Like she's like putting down a track.
Actually, I'm really impressed because that was a smart way that you went about that. But no, it's
thank you.
It's Gina Kirkschneider's hair. I love that you went there. I thought that you were going to do what you did with, like, the training with Teresa last time and be like, fitness tracks, running tracks. But that was honestly impressive.
Honestly, I was, like, thinking, I was like, oh, whenever, you know, like, Candy and
Kim Zolciak
were putting down those tracks in her back studio, I was like, oh my god, this is a great one. They tried to trick me.
That was good, though. I mean, but you still got it wrong.
Pink.
Pink? Oh, Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh! Trick question.
No, what?
Wrong.
Why are you... No, what?
Cameron Westcott.
Oh, bullshit. Lisa Vanderpump is the OG. When she came on, she wanted to be called Pinky. And then Cameron Westcott is getting it. No, ma'am, I want to recount on that one.
That was a true trick question right there.
That was a trash question.
Okay.
Our producer is fired. I'm just kidding. Okay. Bloop.
Nene Leakes.
Yes.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay. Bond.
Bond?
Yes.
What?
I'm so happy I picked this card.
This is, oh my god. Okay, Bond.
Bond. I'll give you an extra hint. You didn't ask for it, but I'll give it to you. James Bond. That really should help.
James Bond. Oh, Denise Richards.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't count.
You know me, I've never seen a movie. I got a point off of that, though, because you didn't tell me and I guessed. Okay. Van.
Vicky Gumbelson.
Who?
Vicky Gumbelson, sorry.
He said Vivi Gumbelson. Wrong.
My girl Vivi.
My girl Vivi.
Wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Vivi was wrong.
Not the family van!
Why would you send a little family van for 6 people? Oh, my God.
This one, you'll definitely get it. Degrees.
Wendy. I don't know. I can't pronounce her last name.
Osefo.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Wig.
I would think that was Nene as well.
I think
wig.
We gotta take your first answer, I think. Is that your final guess?
Did Nene say buy wig? Oh, Kim. Is it Kim Zolciak?
Go to sleep, wig. That's what I always think of whenever she yells that to her.
So she wears the most wigs, well, early seasons, but I always just think of, like,
she
Nene
literally
saying
has a
buy
song
wig.
that goes, ma wig, like, over and over and over again. It's
okay,
so
you're
bad.
right. Sister. This one's kind of hard. The person's not hard, but the clue's hard.
I'm gonna guess Kyle Richards.
Kim Richards. I'll give you that because, like, they're sisters.
I mean, they're sisters.
The second clue was house, so if you didn't, like, get it, house.
You stole my house.
Yeah. But that could have also been Kyle Richards, too, because it's like that was the fight they had.
Yeah, I mean, she always, like, cries about her sister. Yeah. Okay, Carnival. You got the much easier
Leanne Locken.
Pasadena, Texas's finest.
Okay, you have one more. Actually, you have 2 more.
Yeah, well, you should because I started.
Oh, I thought you closed your book, so it was done.
No, I keep closing it because I want to make sure that you don't get a peek at it.
Like,
even
I closed
though
my
it's,
book
like, so
on this
easy.
game.
I know you're going to get it.
This one, you'll get. Toaster.
Oh, Sony Morgan.
Yeah.
Your last one is Pernicious. Did you just black out?
I did.
And you know it.
It's not.
I thought you were gonna dab your tears.
Is
Candace.
it Kelly Ben Simone?
No. She's a jelly bean.
Oh god, duh. Camille Grammer.
Yes.
Oh my god, sorry. That one for a second. I was thinking of that fight when her and Bethany had in that bar. And she's like, "I'm up here and you're down here." I don't know why.
You thought she said, "I'm pernicious, you're pernicious."
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but that was in my brain. That's what I was like thinking.
Yeah.
You have one more. Pioneer. I said that word so weird. Pioneer.
Heather Gay.
Yeah.
That was weird. But did you beat me at this game?
Yes!
No!
Oh my god, I can't believe I won. I am so excited. This is the best day ever.
I quit. I'm leaving.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. We are looking for a new co-host. Cassidy has left the building.
You know that I don't lose well. Mine was more difficult, okay? Yours were much easier.
I could say that about last week. If you wouldn't know unless we switched cards.
Girl, last week it was not hard. This is whatever.
I mean, that was
I will accept my defeat gracefully.
But not really.
Okay,
well then I guess we're on to Salt Lake City.
I guess we are on to Salt Lake City. Okay, so we kick off Salt Lake City, and they are still at this prohibition party that Whitney did not rent out except for one little corner of
I was
this
hoping
bar.
you were going to say that.
Because it's so insane. They're, like, sitting there dressed to the nines. Like, whatever Jen was wearing, it looks like an octopus was, like, eating her when she was sitting down having a conversation. But, like, everyone else was just, like, in the bar, like, super casually, like, hanging out on a Friday night in, like, their jeans and living their...
I did love, because they were, like, in the middle of the bar, which makes it weird and more obvious that it wasn't rented out. But those tables they were sitting at had... You could see, like, the production table lighting. Well, and honestly, I was thinking, like, anytime me and you go to dinner, let's just bring out our table lighting.
People will think that we're important.
And we'll just, like, be sitting there. Our under light will be great. I don't know what they call it, but it was from the table.
I would be so into this.
Our skin would look amazing, and I just think we should bring our own. It looks portable.
From here on out, we'll just take a ring light with us and set it up next to all of our tables to have conversations.
No one's filming. They're like, oh my God, they must be special. And I'm like, oh no.
The camera crew forgot to show up. Jen pulls Meredith to the side because she wants to talk about her canceling the sleepover. And you can tell Meredith doesn't really want to get into it. And it cuts to her confessional. And she says, like, I don't really want to, like, talk about this here with her because I don't want to embarrass her. Because she's fully ready to have the conversation with her in private about how her children felt uncomfortable around her whenever
don't even bring up that guy's name to me.
Ooh, is Brooks now thou who we shall not name? Is he like the Voldemort of the series?
Honestly, to me, yeah.
But it's so funny when they're sitting there talking. You can tell that, I mean, it's not funny that Jen's getting upset. But you can tell she's getting really upset. And Heather's sitting there and she looks over at her and she's like, I really, like, if she makes eye contact with me, then I'm going to, like, go over there and help her. But if she doesn't, then I'm just going to, like, sit here and eat my lollipop. I'm going to wait for my lollipop chicken drumstick or whatever it was. I was like, that's a weirdly specific snack, but very much here for it.
Yes, it was hilarious to see her be like, I'm not going to get involved because I need to eat my drumsticks.
I'm waiting for my food. And Meredith gets up and she's just like, I'm disengaging. I don't want to have this conversation with you now because Jen's getting so upset.
And I do think Jen is getting a little too worked up during this fight, so it allows Meredith to kind of keep her cool. Yeah. And in that sense, it's like, it's better because she's like, I'm gaining, or I'm keeping my composure, and Jen's not.
Jen's literally the line we hear in the trailer about the grandfather that, I mean, the infamous line now. You're gonna go with Mary who fucks her grandfather, which, I mean, isn't untrue, but Mary is sitting at the table and all the other girls and they all hear Jen say it.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. That's why the girls are like, okay,
I'm sorry,
we all know it. Yes, it's true, but imagine sitting there and your, like, kind of wild life is already on camera, and then someone that you, like, not friends with, but you're in the same cast is yelling about you fucking your grandpa. Okay, as I'm saying it, I really don't know I don't know how to think about it because it's like such an insane fight that I can't believe it's on the Housewives. She's calling a spade.
It's true.
I do have a question for you. So the root of this fight at the moment is you're picking Mary's side over me. Jen saying that to Meredith.
Right.
What do you feel about that? If someone was like, I don't feel comfortable with this person. They've done X, Y, and Z to me. Right. Actual bad things.
Yeah.
Would you be that offended if they asked you to kind of like step aside from that friendship?
I'm always of the mindset of like, even if I don't like someone, you can be friends with who you want to be friends with. Even if it's like, obviously you prefer your best friend doesn't hang out with someone that you absolutely hate. But I think that you can't tell people who to be friends with.
You can't.
And that's when it becomes an issue, and that's when the friend will fall out with you whenever you're trying to control your friend.
Yeah, I think it's when it becomes the controlling thing.
Yeah.
To me, I'd be like, if my friend truly had a reason. If it's just, like, dumb stuff, I don't like that person, okay, get over it.
Yeah.
But if they actually tried to, like, drag you, your family, something like that, I wouldn't expect my friend to have to ask me. I would kind of just do it. I would distance myself. I wouldn't hate them.
But Mary hasn't, like, dragged her family. Like, she's made some really crappy... Like, and I don't like Mary, so I'm not standing up for her. But she literally... The main reason they've fallen out is because she said the comment about her smelling like hospital. Like, not that much else has happened.
And they supposedly made up after that. So it's kind of like, if you actually made up, move on to the next subject, let's go.
And it doesn't feel like Jen's letting it go at all. Because she gets up and she is screaming leaving the party. She's waiting for her husband to come get her. She had FaceTimed him. And he wasn't there yet. But she went outside. It's freezing cold. She's in her dress, just screaming, throwing an absolute fit, really. And it makes Jen look like the crazy one here. Even though, like, we like Jen. But she did not handle that well.
No, not at all. But it does give us another hilarious Heather plus food moment.
Yeah.
When Heather's like, I'm going to go check on Jen outside, but don't let them take my burger.
Leave the burger. I need more of those chicken lollipops. And we were just like, yes, Heather, we love you.
She's like, I'm going to go check on this fight, but don't take my food.
That was amazing.
It was great. So then she does go check on Jen, and it just shows Heather is a good person.
No,
I'm really liking her.
I am too.
She's being supportive. She's being great. She talks to Jen and kind of is like, hey, I let Sharif know you're struggling right now. Get in the car, go. We'll talk about it later.
Completely
I thought it was a good, like, way
good.
to...
She showed that she's a good friend to her, for sure. Next up, Meredith and Lisa go shopping. And you were, like, cracking up whenever she kept asking to touch everything.
Yeah, Lisa was walking around this amazing art gallery. Beautiful pieces of art. I mean, beautiful, whatever. I don't know. But expensive, let's say that.
Expensive, for sure.
And she just kept asking the curator, like, can I touch that?
Yeah.
Can I touch that?
So weird.
And it's like, you're in an art gallery. You know you look and don't touch.
That's like when you're 7 years old and you, like, go to the store with your mom and you're like, can I touch this? Can I touch this? She's like, no, don't touch that.
Yeah, just stop.
That's at least in the days of COVID. We don't touch anything anymore.
No,
we know better now.
Yes.
But she decides to, Meredith tells Lisa about the separation. And Lisa gets, like, really upset about it because they're such good friends. She's like, our kids played t-ball together. I helped throw her daughter's bar mitzvah. Like, I've been so close to this family for so long. Like, finding out about this, like, I feel like I'm going through the separation too, almost. Which is...
I mean, it's a sweet moment.
You have no response.
My response is cool. Because, like, are we surprised that they're getting separated? It's just, like, something I don't care about. That's me. I do care about their family being broken up, but I'm just like, that's cool.
I'm like sitting here ready to have an emotional conversation about the divorce, and like I finish, and you're just like, cool.
Yeah, it's just
rest in peace.
It's not doing it for me, so I guess we can go to Lisa and Mary hanging out at Mary's house.
That entire sequence was amazing, but yeah, Lisa and Mary are hanging out. And it was crazy when Lisa walked in and she was like, oh, the house looks beautiful. And then it cuts to her confessional and she's like, you know, the house is like eclectic and I'm surprised that it's kind of strange because Mary's so put together all the time. And I was like, okay, pause. Look at what Mary's wearing right now.
You literally visually were like stunned that comment came out of Lisa's mouth.
100%. Yeah. Like, who is she looking at to say that Mary has good style? Like, never in my life did I think to hear that Mary has good style. Because I feel like Lisa dresses cute.
I was about to say, because Lisa actually is always really put together in cute outfits. So her saying that about Mary,
I was like, are we seeing
surprising.
The same Mary? Like, are we looking at the same person? No, it was a strange house for sure. And her son comes in and they're talking about, you know, having his girlfriend. And he buys her expensive gifts. He bought her a chinchilla. He bought her a dog. And then he just bought her, like, a designer bag or...
A Prada bag.
A Prada bag.
Yeah, it's wild. Did y'all ever have to take a chinchilla home in elementary?
Did I ever have to? No, I would have loved to.
Yeah, we got to take a chinchilla home. It lived in my bathroom for, like, a week or something.
Oh my god, that poor chinchilla was just being passed around?
Yeah. Oh, actually, that's sad.
That's, like, traumatizing for the chinchilla.
Really... I had such a great memory of that chinchilla. And I just fucking ruined it.
I just shit all over your chinchilla story as a
chinchilla,
child.
You're right. He had no love. I love chinchillas though. It was fun to have one in school.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it as a gift as an adult.
Well, they're not.
That's
adults.
A lot of responsibility.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like, how does his girlfriend's parents feel about the fact that he's like giving her all these animals? Like the Prada bag, I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. But the chinchilla and the dog, like that's
like you're 8 or 17, I think.
17, yeah.
And they're getting responsibilities of animals.
Yeah,
multiple animals.
That's insane.
That was weird. And then Mary decides to talk to him, and she's like, what happened to you wanting to be a brain surgeon? Because he said that he wants to be a fashion designer now. He said something funny.
Did I?
That you want to see Mary's son's fashion line versus Brooke's fashion line.
Oh, and like we were full on supporting Mary's son's fashion line.
Which is a wild turn because it's Mary.
Maybe he wants to go in fashion to help dress his mom better. I mean, like, wouldn't you? Like, if my mom was rocking those looks on the daily, I would be like, ma'am, I think I'm going to become a fashion designer.
You're like, I'm going to help this out for
We're going to help switch this up. But Jen and Heather, Jen rolls up to Heather's house, and I love that she walks in. And Heather's like, hey, like, good to see you. And she's like, I ordered sushi to the house. I kind of want that friend in my life that rolls up and is like, sushi will be here. Nobu will be here in 10 minutes.
It was a very food-heavy episode, and I loved every minute
Heather,
of it.
like, loved bringing the food. Jen brings the food. It was a whole moment.
Yeah, and Heather even made a point in her confessional to say, like, Jen, whether it be hosting at her house, hosting at a bar,
skiing,
coming to my house, skiing. She's like, she always has snacks. She always has drinks.
What did she say? She said, like, she's almost like a 7-year-old. She always has to have, like, her snacks and, like, her drink. And I'm like, honestly, goals. Very into that.
Yeah, that's you and your wine and Diet Coke.
It's stop. I think I like set my Diet Coke like away from me too far.
She can't grab it. She feels
can't
weird.
grab it, so but usually that would be me. But they're just talking about like I think Jen really goes into how she like lost her father a year ago. She's talking about it in her confessional, and she's talking with Heather about all the stuff she's dealing with emotionally. Mm-hmm. And that's when she says to her, physically, you're a dream. Emotionally, you're a mess.
Yeah, Heather says that to Jen. You can tell that they're good friends because when Heather says that, it's not a dig. And Jen doesn't take it as a dig.
For sure.
But she's like, but you are a little messed up right now. Like, what's going on? Because that fight was so over the top that there's clearly something underlying. I feel like which we find out is her dad.
Yeah, and I also think she just feels so alone. She says that whenever her dad died, which was like a year ago then, that her husband didn't even come to the funeral. I just can't even imagine. He's always gone. Like, he's constantly coaching, doing this and that. And I think that's clearly really difficult on her. It's
affecting her. I mean,
how could it not?
I mean, how exactly?
It's like being in a long-distance relationship, but living in the same house. It's almost harder.
I know. I always think that, like, I could, like, really thrive in a long-distance relationship. We tried it for 6 months, and I, like, you knew. I was like, you were... every other day I was like, no, I can do it. No, I can't.
Physically, you were a dream. Emotionally, you were a mess.
You are right.
It was the same situation. I feel like I wish I would have had that line to give to you then.
I relate.
And during this time at Heather's house, Jen is kind of raging about the whole thing with Meredith. And I don't know if she let slip or calculated.
I think it was calculated.
Slipped that Meredith is separated from Seth. Because she didn't know. Heather didn't know.
Yeah, but I think the reason why I say it's calculated, because I think she even says, she's like, when someone comes at me or makes me feel bad, I'm going to come after them. So she knew she had this little bit of information on Meredith. Yeah. That's a big deal.
It's huge.
Heather doesn't know. No one knows it besides Jen, and I think there was one other person.
Well, Lisa knows now.
Lisa knows now. There you go.
Earlier in the episode.
Yeah, so only Jen and Lisa know. Mm-hmm. So Jen just likes to let it slip. She's like, you're going to hurt me, I'm going to hurt you.
Which is insane.
It's just not the right move. And I don't like that Jen's doing this because...
That's the thing. I feel like Jen's better than that.
Exactly. That's what I say. She's better than that. It's making her look childish, vindictive.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look.
No, I completely agree. Then we go to... Mary is throwing that lunch that she talked about. We didn't really touch on it earlier with the conversation, but she decides she's going to have a Met Gala themed lunch, which is funny to me because the Met Gala always has a theme, but her theme is the Met Gala. So it kind of leaves you with nowhere to... So they're just going to dress like avant-garde dresses over the top for lunch at 11:30 a.m. in Utah. Is like that the vibe she's after?
I think so, but I have a funny story. So it has to do with the Met Gala. So my aunt was visiting us when we lived in New York, mm-hmm. and she watches all that stuff. She's really into like celebrity culture. Uh-huh. So she wanted to go view, you know how you can go to the museum, mm-hmm. the Metropolitan Museum, and see the theme from that year.
Yeah.
So we go, and this also reminds me of when Lisa was touching the art, because, you know, you're not supposed to touch anything. So we're going around, we're walking around, everything's roped off, these beautiful gowns. I think it was rock and roll year. You know, the Met Gala. It's art. It's art pieces.
It's wearable art.
But they're not behind glass. They're behind, like, little ropes. So, my aunt, being her crazy self, decides to go up. And she's, like, looking at the fabric. She touches it. She, like, it's like, she reaches in. Like, it's not like you just do it. And she touches it. And the sirens start going off.
Stop! You're lying!
Security guards come up. And they're like, ma'am, what are you doing?
Were you dying?
I actually exited the room. I was like, she's an adult.
I don't know her.
Literally. And it's insane because she's, I'm not calling you old Aunt Linda, but she uses to her advantage, and I was like, I didn't know. And she's sweet and so nice, and like is very friendly, so she just talked herself out of it.
She's like, I didn't know. I didn't see the signs everywhere that say "Do not touch at any cost." Like, do not touch.
So many sirens literally went off.
I can't believe she just touched a piece. Like, what kind of security is that? Do you think it's maybe like when she reached across, it like broke a plane?
It's definitely not Nana proof.
That is amazing.
Wild. I just had to put that in there because it reminded me of two scenes in this: the Lisa touching scene and just the Met Gala.
I can't believe I haven't heard that story. That is hilarious.
It just randomly came to me during the episode because it was brought up, but...
She's probably banned from the Metropolitan Museum. Like, you go in, it's just a picture of her on the side of the wall.
And she's, like, leaning over a rope.
Oh, my God, that's amazing.
It was so funny. Anyway, so back to Mary's lunch.
Yeah, so she's setting up the lunch, and she has, like... It's at some restaurant. Like, beautiful restaurant. Not really. I thought it was the inside of her church. But she's... I really did. The whole time. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're having this at their church. And I think you were like, no, it's a restaurant. But whatever.
I mean, it may have given it off that I, like, showed the restaurant sign, like, 3 times, but that's okay.
Don't know why I'm being attacked right now.
Sorry, I had this winner confidence in me right now about our game earlier.
I'm gonna have to knock you off that. This is gonna be a problem. But Mary is speaking to her staff, kind of how you just spoke to me, like very poor.
Oh God! Oh no!
She tells them, like, they're sitting there like helping her set up, and she like makes a horrible comment. She says to them, can you read? You have the names upside down. It's a major flaw. And, like, rolls her eyes. Like, so disgusting. Exactly. Like, you can just be, like, walk behind them and flip it around. Like, if it's upside down, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, or just be like, hey, guys, can y'all turn that around? Like, there's ways to say what you want without being rude.
Being completely rude to people. And I tweeted something about it. And, like, several people were, like, tweeting and, like, responding to it.
Really?
So, people felt that way, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you couldn't. Because it's just, like... She's supposed to be this preacher, nice lady leading her congregation. And here she is just talking to 2 people who did nothing wrong in such a rude manner.
But she's setting up Louis Vuitton gifts on the table, so I'd still come to the lunch.
Hey, we didn't say we want to RSVP.
I didn't say I wouldn't. But it shows Heather and Whitney are riding together to the luncheon. And Heather, which I had said whenever Heather found out from Jen about Meredith's separation, I was like, but Heather's like a real cool girl. Like, she's not going to tell anyone. Next scene with Heather, she's riding with Whitney and she's like, yeah, so did you know that Meredith and Seth have split? I was like, girl, you didn't even get like another scene before you spilled the beans. Like,
oops. But it's to Whitney, and Whitney already has like a little qualm with Meredith. So she's kind of like, I've talked to Meredith about her marriage. I've asked how her and her husband are. Yeah. And she's always said, oh, we're perfect. We're fine. We're this. So you can see that Whitney's kind of like in her head seeing like, oh, your life's not as perfect as you think it is. Or act like it is.
Pretending it is.
So Whitney's kind of like using that as like a little, you know what, I'm going to keep this in my brain.
Yeah.
And use it when I need to, is what I got from it.
Ooh, you think she's going to use it to calculate it?
I don't know. Yeah, probably.
So we see the girls pulling up to the luncheon, and like beefeaters come out in their big hats and their...
So are those what's like in front of like the palace in London?
Like Buckingham Palace, they're like the guards.
Okay, I never knew the term for it.
Well, yeah, it's like beefeater Jen is the...
Oh,
and I'm not gonna lie, I'd forgotten what they were called, and I like wrote down something different, but then Whitney says the beefeaters outside.
Because I was confused with what they are, but it was just so random that... There's a red carpet.
Well, that's the thing. If she had been like, our theme is a Met Gala, like British royalty, it would have made sense of like they came in, like category is British royalty.
Yeah, that would have
Met
made
Gala.
sense.
They would have come in and they would have gotten them out of the car. It would have been a whole thing.
And they also said this was at noon.
It was at noon on like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I love that Whitney was like, oh, I guess I forgot to get the red carpet and like the beefeaters for my party. It was like, no girl, you just forgot to rent the whole restaurant. Like, that would have sufficed. Like, you didn't need to get like a
Those
whole
3 tables you reserved was not the same thing.
Did not do it for us. The cowboy strippers were not it for your prohibition
I mean,
party.
they were it for me.
They were it for you, but not for the prohibition theme, okay? They roll into the party, and the owner of the restaurant has stood there like sniffing the champagne.
I was disturbed.
That was a weird moment. Him and Mary were drinking together, and she was like, that'll wake you up. I was like, what is happening? I was like, is that cocaine or champagne?
It woke me up because I just was so traumatized. The way he was just looking around.
The way you just said traumatized.
I was already reliving it, and I didn't like it.
You were having a visceral reaction to it.
It was just so odd. I was like, the editors had to just put it in because they knew it would freak us out.
Well, I also love that she kicks it off, and they open their Louis Vuitton bags, the girls sitting there, and they're Louis Vuitton AirPods.
I don't really understand this luncheon, but if you're going to give us Louis
Free Louis Vuitton,
I'll be here.
But I love that Mary said, I'm giving you this gift so we can learn to hear each other better. to communicate better. I was like, what? So you just put in AirPods and you'll never fight with anyone again because you'll never hear what they're saying. Yeah. I'm very into this.
It was like a weird way to try to tie in a designer good
like,
to make
girl,
sense
you
to
just
the party.
want to give the Louis Vuitton
exactly.
AirPods.
Like, I can afford these for 8 girls. Let's do it.
Then Mary starts crying and praying and having a whole moment. She's just praying for everyone. She's like, and Whitney and Lisa, and like she had and like she was getting emotional. I was like, girl, we're just about to have lunch. Like, if you want to pray over lunch, fine, but like getting emotional about each person,
it was an odd moment. And then of course she like, I want everyone to go around and say something about them, like a flaw or just a thought.
And I'm going first because it's my
lunch. And I'm going first, exactly. Like, after she cries, like, I'm going to make it about me again. I'm going to go first.
She's very, I think we're seeing she's pretty self-centered.
Oh, yeah.
Fully. I mean, it's insane.
So she kind of just was like, I don't trust people. I struggle with that.
Whitney starts it off with, I'm not a swinger. And we're like, oh, glad she clarified that.
Lisa's like, I have this. Okay, Lisa's was so annoying. She also starts to fake cry. And she does that thing, like, when you're in interviews and they're like, what's one flaw about you? And you're like, oh my God, my one flaw is I'm so organized. Yeah. Like, something like that.
I'm just too perfect and it's really hard.
And she's like, I struggle with having extremely high goals for myself. And like, you know what? I get everything I want. It was just so ridiculous.
Girl. And it's ridiculous. That's basically exactly how it went.
So I was like, eye roll on that one. And Lisa really caps hers off with like, I don't even really want to change that.
I don't want to change wanting extremely high goals.
that like, I've already achieved and I don't want to change it.
I mean, our high goals should just be to get better bartenders that don't go break everything at a party. And I like Lisa, but if that's the truth, then that is not.
Set your goals higher for your employees. Like, hey, yes.
But Jen goes into her dad and everything she's struggling with.
And hers is actually deep. It's real. It gives you like more of an insight into where her anger and sadness is really stemming from.
Right.
And it's like her dad only passed away less than a year ago or almost a year ago. So it's very raw. It's very new.
Yeah.
And she does end up apologizing to Meredith because she's like, I let my emotions get the best of me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
We did have a to be continued on this episode.
And I think it looks like next week it's going to be like, this was kind of the peaceful part of the lunch. I think next week it's going to be more of the getting into it deep.
When Jen apologized to Meredith, you see Mary clearly be like, okay, where's my apology?
Like, what about me?
Yeah.
Something about Mary over here apologized to me.
She's waiting. But you can just see that Jen cares about Meredith's relationship and just doesn't care about Mary. But that goes into next week. Yeah. And you can see where that's going to kick off the fights. Yeah.
And I think it's going to be like kind of a domino effect. Like a few fights are going to go down off the back of that. $10 that Meredith's secret.
That's steep.
Comes out. I think that it's going to come to fruition next week. Would you take that bet?
Would you take the bet? I'm going to go against you. Yeah.
Okay. $10. Shake on it.
Shake. Because I don't...
That's a firm handshake.
But specifically at that lunch or in the episode?
I mean, it'd be better for me financially if it was the whole episode. But I'm thinking the lunch.
Okay, because I think it may in the episode, but I don't think it will at that lunch.
I feel like, not confident, but like a little bit confident that when they were going around the table and everyone was like saying their one thing, we haven't gotten to Meredith. So Meredith might use that as the perfect opportunity to...
You're right. But we already made the bet. Not taking it back. I still stand by it. That will be not at that
You are lunch. Confident. All right.
I'm just going to go with it.
$10. Well, let's do this.
Yeah. So that was Salt Lake City for the week.
And it was a good episode.
I think good.
It's consistently good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect.
So Potomac this week. Got any thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts. I died at the opening whenever it said BS and AS before Steven and after Steven with Karen and her hair situation, which was hilarious. Like, the producers do such a good job.
They do.
They pulled BS scenes and AS scenes, like in her stills and her confessionals.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I will say shout out to Steven because he made a world of difference on Karen's style.
I kept kind of thinking, like, before gay, after gay. Because, like, before she had a good gay styling her hair, and then
before
after she had
the wig doctor, and after the wig doctor.
And that's all compliments to Steven. She looked incredible in the after shots.
He killed it.
Like, that's kind of what made me laugh. I was like, before gay, after gay.
That's actually really funny. Ashley and Monique are sitting down having lunch next. And they're just kind of talking, having a good time. And Monique mentions that Karen had come to her son's birthday.
Yeah, it was her son's birthday.
And they were like turning up drinking champagne. And Ashley was like, well, that's funny because she was only drinking milk in Portugal. And she's like, what? And she was literally like, I guess her ulcer wasn't real.
Yeah.
She was going to go get drunk with you. And then they're talking about this wig event that Karen's throwing. And she says, were you invited? And Monique was like, yeah, of course I was invited.
I've known about it for weeks or something.
Yeah,
like
I think I might stop by at the beginning. And Ashley says, well, she said you weren't invited in Portugal. Let's get Karen on the phone. I mean, Ashley is earning her money as the pot stirrer.
She moves the story forward. I'll give her that.
I will give her credit for it. She's absolutely moving the story forward.
Yeah, it was really funny because then like they confront her on the phone. Or not really confront, but she's like,
she ambushes her.
That's an ambush. And she's like, hey, Monique's here. She said you did invite her and you told us in Portugal you didn't. And they kind of like went back and forth, but it was just really funny when Karen was hanging up. She was like, you tried it. You tried it.
It was
Bye.
literally like the way Karen handled it. She's like, no, it was literally on Atlanta. Who said that?
Yeah.
Who said that? Who said that? Like Karen, I felt like she was doing on that side of the phone. She kept it very coy, very calm. You tried it, Ashley. Not happening.
And that's what I love about Karen because she's like, she knows this is in a game in a way. Like this whole reality TV biz.
She knows you're trying to call her out.
Yeah,
and she's not like, falling for it.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
You tried it.
Not
Bye.
happening.
Good for you. Because it's funny because she's not even mad at Ashley. She's like, okay, you tried it. Bye.
Karen said you tried it. I'm not having it. I'm going to get in the bathtub. Ray, where
stop.
you at?
No.
Where you at, Ray? She got in the bathtub. She got all lathered up. She's really putting the spark back in her marriage. It was just so funny when she was laying there. Ray.
It's
Ray.
not just Ray. She's like, oh, Ray. Ray, oh, Ray.
I literally had nightmares that night just hearing Ray.
And the whole scene is he's literally from his car up the stairs.
Took him like it was like a 25-minute scene.
I literally thought he was gonna strip on camera because he like unbuttons like one button, then sits down. But I was like, oh my god,
we're not getting. You thought we were gonna see Eddie and Tamara like 2.0, like when they were full in the bathtub making out. That's the vibe that you thought we were gonna get.
Yes.
Thank God we didn't.
I 1000% did.
I don't want to see Eddie and Tamara doing it. I don't want to see Karen and Ray doing it.
No.
Not
all. Here for it.
Also, they have a daughter
funny.
that's like 24. Can you imagine seeing your parents, like your mom in the tub, calling your dad up?
Well, she's gonna.
That's exactly.
It's not an if, it's a win.
It's an happening. Oh my God.
I would not like it though.
No. Next.
I mean, they kind of just go through a few scenes where it's like Wendy's talking
Pumpkin
about
patch.
her being a professor with her mom at a pumpkin patch.
Uh-huh.
Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We move on to Ashley and Michael's dinner.
No, we went to Giselle, I think, then.
Giselle.
Giselle was setting up this photo shoot that her husband, well, ex-husband, Jamal, boyfriend now, was supposed to be at. And he doesn't show up because she gets stuck in an airport. But I kind of think that it was like a moment that she opened up a little bit more because she always keeps it like, we're good. Like, me and Jamal are good. We're like hanging out. We're good. And then the producer asks her in her confessional, like, are you disappointed that he didn't make it? And her response was, well, what makes you feel like I'm not? What can I do? Can I call up in a ball? I feel like that was kind of the most vulnerable we've seen Giselle.
Yeah, but it's like...
You don't care, do you?
No, I actually do care, but the thing is, it's like... Even her daughters don't really want her to be with Jamal necessarily.
Well, I think they know that
Jamal's
he cheated so much.
storyline just seems weird. He doesn't live there. He lives in Atlanta. It sounds like he travels a lot.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. It just seems like a convenient
relationship
storyline.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't get it.
I also feel like we kind of glazed over her fellow green-eyed bandit when she went and looked at a house at the very beginning of the episode. She went and looked at her, like, $1.5 million house, Robin.
Oh, Robin, yeah.
When Robin went to look at a $1.5 million house while casually saying, well, you know, I am on a payment plan with the IRS. Let's buy it a $1.5 million house.
Does that even make sense?
I'm like, make it make sense for me.
Make it make sense. Because it makes zero sense.
I just had to throw that in there because that was ridiculous.
If she was like, I put that money down, I paid it off.
Yeah.
Wrote a check, we're done.
Yeah.
Now moving on to a house. No, she specifically said, I'm on a payment plan to pay off my tax debt.
I mean, she's going to have to sell a whole lot of embellished hats to pay that off. Just saying.
I don't imagine that happening.
But next up, we have Ashley. She's making it, which, by the way, I was very impressed by this. She's cooking like a full fish.
A full fish. Eyes on and everything.
But
on.
Did you hear she said, oh, this is actually a dish that we had in Portugal, so I came home and decided to recreate it. Like, can you imagine going to, like, another country and coming home and just, like, whipping up that meal? Like, I go to Mexico, come back and drive through a Taco Bell. And that's as close as I'm going to get to recreating a dish from a country I was just in, okay?
I commend her for it, that's for sure.
Killed it.
And they liked it. And she
it
made
looked
some
amazing.
cauliflower mash.
It looked like
healthy.
Brussels sprouts. Like, it looked delicious. But Lump came over. Uncle Lump. I just love saying that name.
I do, too.
Her mom came over. They're hanging out. And I just don't feel like Michael, because they're coming over because Michael needs to apologize to them for cheating on Ashley and, you know, cheating on baby Dean, really, if you're going on.
Oh my God, that's a really good point.
You're sleeping you have a around child now. Exactly. He just doesn't seem remorseful to me.
No, he didn't.
I don't think he cares.
He just gets like really red, and he kind of just like looks even creepier when they do like weird zoom-ins on his face, like when he's like not remorseful.
I'm sorry, you know, if you feel like I've hurt you, and if I feel like I've hurt your family. Like, no, you have.
And that's the most annoying thing when someone does something wrong. Like, I'm sorry that you feel that way.
I'm sorry if you feel like it.
You're sorry that you did something shitty. Just say that.
I completely agree. But at the end of his scene, you're right. It zooms in on his face really weird. It does this like dun-dun music and like zooms in like Gollum. And then goes to a commercial break. And I was like, y'all can't just leave me on that.
You can't.
I like checked the time. I was like, wait, that's not the end of the episode, is it? Because we cannot end on that. And
that just sears into your brain.
It was scarring.
And then we have the hilarious wig shift party of Karen. It's so funny. It kept making me laugh. The girls try to shade her because it's like in like a strip center or something. I'm like, I don't even care. I think she's launching her wig. I commend her for it.
Do you feel like because she was having so much like shade going on in Portugal with like Robin and people, do you think that she just like called her like assistant Matthew was his name, Matthew, like, hey, can you throw together a wig shift party so when we get back so I can show these girls that I got a lot going on in the Grand Dame brand? Like, she's so delusional, but I love her.
Was it installment 2?
Installment 2 of the Grand Dame brand.
Yeah. Installment 2.
And I mean, the video was hilarious that she had put together. Like, it's like her, like, sitting there, like, music playing in the background. She's, like, posing in front of the thing. It looked like it was filmed in 5 minutes.
Do you remember where that throne has been used before? She loves this throne. It's that gold and white throne. Where do you think it's been used before?
Was it her party that she had at the house, like when her and
Ray announced that they're moving back to Potomac?
That was a good catch. I didn't notice that.
Because I just remember it because she has that weird guy in that like old episode. That guy comes over and acts.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
All the girls, like you said, they show up and they're all being so shady. No one can ever say something nice about Karen's business.
Mm-mm.
But if she throws anything back at them, it's like she's the worst person.
Yeah.
Because she's in there and like they even bring up the alcohol thing with her again. Like, oh, so we heard that you were like...
Actually gives her antacids.
Oh, that's right. She does.
Yeah. She brings them as a present. She's like, oh, Karen, I know you like had your ulcer, so I want to give you some antacids.
You're right. And that gift
so
bag.
Shady.
I was like, girl, you bought that nice gift bag to put some antacids in it. You could have put a candle in there to congratulate her on her business too. Yeah. But I also feel like we do need to briefly mention that we didn't whenever Monique did come to the party early. Like, they said hi, they had their chat, and the producers really tried to make it look like her and Candace were going to run into each other. Like, it even had up until, it's like 1 minute before party starts, and it had her going out. And it had someone get out of a car and walking in, and then pop in, and it wasn't Candace.
It was like some random lady.
It's like, how long do you think that she was hiding in that door for them to be like, and scene, go?
Yeah.
Popped into the party. But no, because on Watch What Happens Live afterwards, Monique had said there was no way that we were ever going to run into each other because at that point it had been decided, like through
production,
producers,
right? Production already did
that we cannot be in the same vicinity. So funny knowing that after the fact.
And
but
it's
at
also
the moment
funny,
we were like...
It's funny knowing that after the fact because Candace finds out that Monique was there earlier.
Right.
And she tries to accuse Karen of setting it up, saying that, oh, Karen tried to tell me to come early as well. Monique came early. She clearly did this. She's
trying
doing
to make us show up and run into each other.
Exactly.
Why would Karen want to do that at her own event anyways? Like, because this was launching a product. And I know a lot of people weren't there, but why would she want to do that?
I mean, yeah, it was still her launch party, but it was funny because after that, Karen just up and leaves.
Oh, well,
she just walks out.
She throws back at Robin. She says to her,
yeah.
because they call her out about drinking and stuff. And she's like, Robin says to her specifically, is it because you're worried about what you're going to say when you drink because you've talked about Ray before? And she throws back, well, you should be worried about what Juan says when he drinks because...
And do you think that actually has any information backing it, though?
No. Also, like, Juan's, like huge guy. Like, I feel like it would take a lot of alcohol to get him to be, like, spewing crap. And also, they're not around him ever.
I was going to say, we never see him, so it's weird to bring that up.
Like, I think we're going to see a proposal next week, but, like, that's pretty much,
Maybe.
like, well, I do think that we
You
saw
think
the
it
guy.
will?
Yeah, because I feel like I remember seeing on Instagram. It's, like, a kind of a strange ring.
I wonder. But, yeah, it was just interesting because Karen throws that out. I'm like, okay, Karen, I'm always on your side, but this time it's just like, you didn't need to.
She was doing this. She was reaching.
Ooh.
It was a reach.
Reaching for that Met
Met
gown behind the curtain.
Reaching. You're waiting for the alarm to go off. Buzz, 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 buzz.
But it was funny because she just is like, hey guys, I'm leaving. I paid the bill. I'm out.
Ray and I are headed to dinner. See you later.
It was so funny.
Honestly, an iconic way to leave.
It was. I would do that. I'd be like, okay, I'm not dealing with this. I paid the bill. Gone.
See y'all later. Not doing the drama.
And that's whenever, like, after Karen leaves, they kind of do wrap it up with Wendy aggressively saying that Karen's not your friend. She's coming after you to Candace. So they're really setting up this whole thing that Karen.
The finale next week. They're setting up.
Yes, the finale. They're trying to really set up Karen doing a fight between Candace and Monique.
I feel like it's gonna be such a good episode next week.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have Atlanta afterwards. Like, we're gonna have a.
Oh my God, Atlanta is back, guys!
We're gonna have
I'm
a
so
good
excited.
We're gonna have a lot of content.
Yeah, it'll
week.
be so interesting to watch Atlanta though. Just a quick thing. Atlanta's starting back on this Sunday, December 6th.
This Sunday.
And they filmed completely in
quarantine.
So it'll be, I don't know if it's good or bad. They still say the season's amazing, but it will be interesting to see a full-on filming
from start to finish
during pandemic.
Yeah, because it's nothing to do with it on Potomac at all.
No.
Like, they held off. They kept the season.
Salt Lake, we don't do it.
Salt Lake, no. It's crazy watching Salt Lake because it's like Christmas time. And I noticed on Potomac it was Ashley, but it's a year ago Christmas time, so it's crazy how far back things were pushed because of COVID.
Yeah, so next week we're going to be talking about some Atlanta.
Potomac.
We'll pick back up on Southern Charm because of the holiday last week.
Yeah.
We didn't get a new episode of Southern Charm, so we will be talking about Southern Charm next week along with Atlanta. So excited. We have so much coming up.
We got good.
One thing, Dallas is coming back in January.
The trailer was good.
We were
very excited.
Trailer was good. We have new housewife, Tiffany Moon, new housewife on Dallas, and a friend of Jennifer Long. So we have some new blood in Dallas.
Wait, are you wrapping up right now? We haven't even talked about OC yet. Like, you were wrapping us up. I was letting you go. I was like, yes.
I know. I really felt it. It was going great. But, so you're referring to the opening act, right? Of Salt Lake City?
The opening act of Salt Lake City, as we call it around here. We really do. That's like when we order our food and, like, sit around and just, like, kind of tune in, but, like, get excited for Salt Lake.
We literally were eating Taco Bell and watching OC.
We were.
Not even, like,
I feel like people are going to think we only eat Taco Bell, which is true.
Honestly.
So you're right. We kick things off on OC. Shannon is very hungover. She decides to go take a hike with Emily and Gina. And the other group of girls, Bronwyn, Elizabeth, and Kelly, all go to look at this beautiful mid-century homes, like whatever they're doing, touring these houses. Gorgeous. Kelly says she's a history buff, which I was like, are you?
A history buff in Palm Springs.
Yeah, and then I'm pretty sure she went and she pronounced like half the things wrong. And I was like, okay, Kelly, very you.
They literally went to this house and were drinking champagne at a bar. Like
history buff. But they're hiking and they're talking about Elizabeth's relationship. Then Elizabeth is set with the other group of girls talking about how they keep talking about her relationship.
And it's been for episodes. Elizabeth just keeps talking about her
But
divorce.
she keeps talking about the divorce that we're not finding out anything.
Talking around it.
She talks about how she's under a gag order and it's just getting boring.
But it's just interesting because she's like, oh, I'm under a gag order. I can't talk about divorce. But her whole storyline is I'm getting divorced from a billionaire.
Exactly.
And the girls they make it clear. They're annoyed by it. They're like, we don't want to hear you talk about money or divorce, anything like that anymore. We want to know who you are. And I agree. I was like, yes.
Well, that's what she moves into. And she was like, so actually last night, Shannon yelled at Jimmy. Like, Shannon went off on Jimmy, her boyfriend, at the party for absolutely no reason. So I feel like they're
so random.
Which is A, so random. B, we know Shannon's not that great of a drunk. Like, she can get a little bit messy, sloppy, aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about Shannon being drunk, do you remember last episode when she was talking to Bronwyn's kids? Blackout wasted.
That was like the first good Shannon scene in such a long time. I combined Shannon, Sean, and Bronwyn, and we got Shannon.
Yeah, so Shannon. I'm just kidding. Shannon was like talking to Bronwyn's two kids. Wasted, making no sense. And the kids literally were like saying, like, trying to be polite, trying to be nice, and then just walks away. And Shannon's like, okay.
They were like, she's so wasted.
I just thought that was funny.
I love that they said it. But no, that was the best Shannon scene in a while. So they were talking about it. She was obviously being really mean to Jimmy. I wish we would have seen this scene. I wish cameras would have been there.
I know, right? I did see one random thing on Instagram. There was like a screenshot or something from 2016 that showed a picture of Jimmy and Elizabeth together.
In 2016?
Like in a group in 2016. Like in a group. It wasn't just them two, but they've known each other.
So it just makes her whole story seem kind of weird.
Like maybe we'll find out eventually they've known each other this long.
Yeah.
But because she's just being so vague about divorce, Jimmy's relationship, stuff like
That's
that.
strange.
It makes this screenshot of 2016
really
very weird.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You'll have to send me that.
Yeah, I will.
That's crazy. I'll have to repost it on our Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
At Reality Wine Down. I'll share it with you when you send it to me. But I feel like they are trying to kind of pin now Shannon as she drinks too much. And I feel like this might be a storyline that we're going to get into more as the season goes on.
Yeah. I feel like they've tried to do this past seasons with Shannon. But Shannon's like, no, I don't allow it.
Yeah.
Plus, I think because Bronwyn's going on her sober journey, it's making everyone kind of look at drinking in a different way.
Everyone's more hyper aware of people when they're drunk or how they're behaving when they're drunk.
Yeah, and especially when Shannon decides to get blacked out at like a
sober
girl's
vow renewal. I almost said wedding too.
Yeah,
I almost said wedding renewal.
Yeah. After that, the Palm Springs trip kind of wraps up. We go back to the OC. And it really gets full in COVID talk.
Everything is shutting down.
Yeah.
Kids are home from school. Mm-hmm. Gina's talking to her mom. Her mom's like, you're dealing with a lot. Like, the way she even was just like, yeah, it's kind of everyone was at this point.
Shannon's crying over not being able to use too much paper towels.
Oh, my God. Shannon also, like, we find out that she's immune compromised and would be struggling. And...
Not laughing at that. I'm laughing at what you're about to say.
Well, she's we know she's a hypochondriac, which, I also am, so I'm not calling that out. But whenever she says, I'm a fighter, I will fight this. Like, girl, you don't have coronavirus yet. You don't need to, like... fight it.
I thought you were going to say when she was like, I have lung issues. I have a cough.
Yeah. She said, I always have this cough. And she hit us with the most Regina George. I can't come out tonight. I'm sick. It was literally
perfectly timed. She's like, I always have a cough and just coughs. I'm like, girl, anyone can just cough.
Also, like, we haven't heard this in, like, ever. I didn't know that.
I feel like she's mentioned it in her Dr. Moon days, but...
I don't know why you're attacking me now, okay?
No, because I don't know specifically, but I just feel like Shannon always has an ailment.
Yeah. Oh, Kelly does call her hypochondriac on this episode. So,
but I did love there was one line that Shannon said when she was on the phone with Kelly, and she's like, "I just don't want to make this about me." The whole coronavirus. I don't want to make this about me. But it's like, Shannon, you are making it about you. You're the pro at making everything about you.
From day one, I literally said I cannot relive coronavirus through Shannon Bedore.
No,
like
or
that was like the number. Well, Kelly Dodd, it's obviously like she's a lost cause. But Shannon with, like, the overprotected, like, the crazy.
Yeah, but it's just funny because Shannon's crazy turns into her just being like, I don't want to make it about me, but I'm going to make it all about me.
But we need to make this about me right now. I'm a fighter. I will fight this. It's like, okay, Shannon.
So, COVID is the newest housewife on OC,
well, they are shutting down at the end of the episode.
They did.
They're shutting down production.
Yeah.
And they're gonna halt for 2 months?
A month or two.
Because the trailer didn't say next time. It said later this season. So it's kind of giving us more. We can't be halfway through already.
I don't think so. I think it's more of like a later this season, as in like we're picking it up after COVID.
Yeah.
Because the trailer is
distant. Yeah.
Post quarantine. So I think it was more of that, where it's like we deal with COVID, we shut down cameras, we're gonna move past it.
Yeah.
So that was OC this week.
I think that was OC. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. The opening act.
That was the opening act of Salt Lake. We need to come up with like a hashtag for it. We need to work on that this week and come up with something.
Way well. But it was a good week. I liked our shows this week. It was
Salt Lake was great. Potomac was great, and OC was there.
And I won a game this week. So.
And okay, so this wasn't a fun one. I didn't have a good time this week. Okay?
Cheers to that, Cassidy. Bye, everyone.